Hi, I'm Kai Cheng Thom, and you're watching Ask Kai Quickies, a series of short videos in which I teach you everything you want to know and a few things that you probably don't about sex, dating, and relationships. Yay! So, lovely viewers, today's question is from someone who asks, my partner has recently transitioned, and their attraction to different genders has changed. They are no longer attracted to me or to people of my gender. What should I do? So I just want to take a moment to really acknowledge that this question might be kind of painful, it might be kind of sad, it might trigger things for folks out there. It's always just really hard when someone you love or someone you really like, in any case, goes through a change. And that part of that change means that they might no longer be attracted to you or to your body or to people who share your gender expression or your gender identity. And so there is like a sadness here and a grief, potentially, that I would just love to invite us to acknowledge and to be with. It is hard when people change. It is hard when that change doesn't necessarily include us. And so the first piece of advice I have to give, if I can give advice in my advice video column thing, is to make room for sadness. That it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be unhappy. And I think that's really hard, particularly in the context of the queer community and gender transition, because we are socialized, many of us, to be positive and supportive and celebrate people's transitions, which is a great thing. I invite us to do that, like, hooray. And let's just be real. That change is hard, and we don't want to be left behind. So that's piece of advice number one. Piece of advice number two is, okay, so it could be that your partner in their transition has started feeling differently about their body. It could be that hormones are affecting their sexuality, and they've changed in who they're attracted to. Now, those changes can be fluid. We know that sexuality is fluid. This is case in point. And it's possible that after some exploration and experimentation, they might settle back into a sexual dynamic where they are attracted to you, or where they might want to explore sex with you again. And so that's something to be on the lookout for. If you have the capacity, if you're feeling like you can be patient and wait for that, then that's something that you might consider. On the other hand, it's also possible that you might be, unfortunately, waiting for a long time. It could be that this change in sexual attraction and gender-based attraction is permanent. And that means that maybe you're not going to have very much sex anymore, or any sex with your partner. And so again, we come back to that sadness, the grief of letting go, needing a space potentially to talk about it with other people who won't judge you. And so the question then is, so how can you be with this person who is no longer sexually attracted to you? Should you be with that person at all? And so that's going to depend from couple to couple. Some folks in relationships really rely on sexuality as the primary mode of intimacy. Some people are monogamous, and therefore, if they're not sexually attracted to their romantic partner, can never have sex with other people in an honest and authentic way. These are all things to consider. What you might be giving up, or what your partner might be giving up if you stay together, even though they are no longer sexually attracted to you at this time. Now, there might be some situations where not having sex is really not that impactful to the relationship, or not that harmful. It's something that can be adapted to in different ways. For example, if you're already a polyamorous couple, or if you are willing to consider polyamory, then it could be that you both might get your sexual needs met elsewhere. It might be also that one or both of you doesn't really have a very high sex drive, but you do have a lot of love and affection for one another. And so in that case, maybe there's not that much that needs to change, actually, other than some conversations about where love and value and attraction really come from. Is it only about sex, or is it also about personality and conversation and all the other kinds of emotional intimacy you might share with one another? So these are some important questions to ask yourselves. How important is sex? Are sexual needs, if there are, in fact, sexual needs in the relationship, are they able to be met outside the relationship? Or is it more like sexual attraction between the two of you is something really important to keep the relationship together? And if it can't happen, then maybe it's time for the two of you to part ways. Now, this is a tough conversation. I don't recommend having it all at once, really intensely. More like a conversation to be had over several days, several weeks, maybe even several months with lots of breaks, expressing a lot of care and affection for one another, even as you're having the difficult discussion about essentially whether or not you can stay together or whether it's better to break up. And if it should come to the decision that breaking up is better for one or both of you, then I always encourage folks to think about what would the best possible breakup look like? What is the most caring, most compassionate, gentle breakup that can happen? And for that to occur, I think both people in the relationship need to be really honest with themselves and with each other, particularly in the sense of the person whose attraction has changed, really owning that that's about them and not about you. And on the side of the person who is no longer receiving attraction from their partner, to get really clear that that's not something that can be controlled, that that's not necessarily a rejection of your personhood or your personality. It's just a change that has happened in how your partner is experiencing their own body and their attraction to other bodies in the world. It's not about you, it's about them. So it all comes down to compassion, I think. Compassion for the other person in the relationship and compassion for ourselves. We want to give ourselves space to feel all of the feelings that we might be having, even if they're messy and difficult, to validate our own emotions, to make space for ourselves to talk about the hard things that are going on, and also to be compassionate to the other person, to acknowledge that whatever's going on, whatever changes are happening, they're not intended to be hurtful or to be cruel, even if they do hurt. And when we hold on to that mindset of compassion for the other, compassion for self, then maybe everything is just a little bit easier. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ask Kai. Quickies, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials at Xtra Magazine.